Hello, welcome. We're going to be starting the workout in a couple of minutes, so just get yourself comfortable. Make sure you've got a little bit of space around you. If you have got a mat, a towel, or anything to lie down on that you would like to, also grab yourself a drink if you'd like one as well. We're going to be starting the workout in literally just a couple of minutes, so just to begin with, just start loosening yourself up. Just keep freeing up through the body, and then we'll start taking you through our warm-up and then into our main workout as well. Hopefully you've had a good day today. I know it's been a little bit cold here in the UK, so hopefully you've managed to keep yourself warm if you're happy now. Great, hopefully it's been for a nice bit of exercise outside. Maybe this is your exercise for today, which would be great as well. Just loosen yourself up. The workout I'm going to do today is going to be a circuit training workout. It's going to be a conditioning workout. The idea behind this is that we're going to go for a warm-up, a main section, and a cool-down. The warm-up will have 7 or 8 different exercises, 30 seconds in each exercise, and just keep you moving. And then during the main workout, we're going to have 3 stages. On each stage, there will be 3 exercises, and then what we'll do is we'll repeat those exercises, so that way then you can become familiar with them as well. If there's an exercise that you're not too sure on, then you can learn it in round 1 and then perform it in round 2 if you need to. But also we'll go through different options of progressions and regressions as well. So if at any time you need to challenge yourself more, or maybe check down the exercise where you can hold a better technique at a lesser intensity, then that's absolutely fine as well. We'll be starting very shortly. If at any time you need to stop, at any time to grab a drink or anything like that, just join back in when you can and just try and complete this whole 30-minute workout the best you can. First thing we're going to do is just get you marching on the spot. So just start to bring your knees up nice and high. The idea behind this is just starting to get your heart rates up a little bit more and to get some mobility through different joints. So we're just looking to get your knees coming up fairly high so we can get the hips, knees and ankles mobilized, as well as the shoulders and the elbows slightly as well. If you can start to bring yourself up onto your tiptoe, just bringing your knee up a little bit higher, what we're going to start to do is to elevate your heart rate in preparation for the exercises that are going to come as well. So push yourself off your toes slightly. And the benefit of doing this is because later on when we do a couple of the jumping exercises, it will help you a little bit more as well. Then what we're going to do is just split your arms. Just think of a giant box and you're just separating your arms from one side to the other. Think about a nice diagonal position, reach into the corners. So try and stretch for your fingertips as you open up these arms. Now what I'd like you to do is just take your arms wide and then back to the center and then split up and back down again. So again, we're just mobilizing through the shoulders. One goes wide, then one goes up and down, and then we'll just swap those over as well. Now, what we're going to do is just a half squat. So place your hands onto your hips and just lower your hips down to the position where you start to feel your muscles are actually engaging. The whole goal here is to start to get blood to come to the areas where you're going to be working. And we have got some leg exercises which are going to be focused on, especially in the first round and also in the last round as well. So just take yourself into a little bit of a squat and then bring yourself back up again. Good, excellent. Now let's take you to some jumping jacks. And we're going to take the arms out to the side just so we can get your heart rates up a little bit more and get you ready for the body that we're going to be working hard later on. So the higher your arms go up above your head, the higher the heart rate's going to go because your body's got to push more blood around different areas of the body as well. Good. Arms going up nice and high. Let's get the heart rates up a little bit more. Good work. Okay, now just reverse lunge. So take a large step back down towards the floor and then alternate through the legs here as well. Now the back knee can touch the floor or you can have it just slightly above the floor as well. Use your arms just to help give you a little bit of momentum and also just to find a little bit of a balance point as well. Just the last 10 seconds here. It can really help using the arms just to hold a little bit of stability in your movement as well. And we'll soon get all those legs warmed up, get your balance ready for the workout ahead as well. Now, what I always do is imagine you've got a skipping rope and just get you jumping on the spot. Now, the whole goal here is to not only get you to push off the floor, just so we can start to get a little bit more power and muscles activated through the calves, but also just to keep the heart rate up. And we can start to move this from side to side, and forwards and backwards as well. Excellent. Okay. Now, the last one we're going to do is a punch combination. So we're just going to go jab, cross, jab, jump, and then jab, cross, jab, and then jump around. Okay, so all we're looking to do is to get your body warmed up a little bit more, especially with the upper body here. And we're just starting to draw a little bit of more activation into the shoulder, the chest and the back muscles as well, as we start to dynamically get the joints moving and the muscles engaged as well. Okay, now the first exercise that we're going to be going for is going to be a lateral jump from side to side. So we're going to add this one in just for around about 45 seconds, and then we're going to start going for our routine that we're going to work on. Every single exercise we're going to do, we will be doing it twice, so we can start to improve the intensity of doing this one, okay? So last one to get your heart rates up, we're going to be jumping from side to side. So take a last jump, squat down by your sides, and then just start to increase the range of movement that you feel comfortable with. Just give me 30 seconds here, and then what we're going to do is take you into that main section. So the last part of the warm-up, start to push off from side to side, and you can see that I'm using my arms just to create a little bit of momentum. This will help elevate me up into the air as I then travel from side to side. Good, just 10 seconds to go. Great job. Okay, and just shake out the legs. Now, the first exercise that we're going to be doing is a push-off lunge. Check this one out. You're going to take a large step back, down towards the floor, and push off a single leg before you repeat the exercise on the same leg. Okay, so 45 seconds just on that one side. Then the second exercise we're going to be doing, hands will go to the side of the head. We're going to go from a squat, side bend to one side, and then we'll go down to the floor for our third exercise. Okay, starting with that lunge push-off, off we go. Lunge back, drive the knee up. Nice dynamic movement. The goal here is to start to activate for the large muscles around the glutes. These are the muscles that drive you forwards. It's a great exercise for runners or people who play team sports, but at the same time, really good for people wanting to work on tone and definition as well. Try and push that knee up as high as you can. The higher you leave the floor, the better. If you need a regression of this exercise, just take it into a static position where you take a lunge back and then just step up and forwards. So you don't have to add the jump in if you don't want to. Last 5 seconds, let's see if we can get a few more in. Last one. Good, okay, 15 seconds breather. Then we're going into the hands to the side of the head. It's going to be the squat and side bend. Feet shoulder width apart to begin with. Squat yourself down, side bend to one side, and we'll repeat that for 45 seconds. As you bring your knee and your elbow closer together, you'll start to feel a stretch on the outside of the torso, because you're going to be going into a little bit of flexion where the shoulder and the knee come closer together as well. So what you're going to start to feel is the leg that is constantly working is going to be burning a little bit, especially if you get down low and come up quickly into that position. Now try and get your body used to bending sideways here. So it's not about moving your elbow down towards your knee, it's about getting your knee up and bending sideways to get them close together. Good work. Try and get as many repetitions in as you can. Okay, now we're going down onto the floor. We're going to go into a press-up position, and we're going to be jumping off feet wide and narrow. Here's how it's going to look. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, eyes looking down to your fingertips. Let's give it a go. Press-up position, jump your legs wide and narrow. Try and think about bringing your shoulder blades back and down so you get closer towards your glutes. Squeeze your glutes and your quads together so that you can maintain a good posture as you're doing this exercise. We don't want your hips going too high or going too low. We're trying to keep them in the middle of the body, in line with the shoulders as we can. Just keep yourself breathing as well. Remember to look between your fingertips. Strong position. You're going to feel your arms working as you're holding this plank position as well. And relax there. Okay, 15 seconds recovery. Then we go to the opposite side. So remember, it'll be a lunge back and then push off the floor. Starting in 5 seconds time. Remember, the option is just to take a step if you need it to be. Okay, let's go for this. Big lunge back, drive your knee up into the air. As you're doing this exercise, again, use your arms to drive a little bit of momentum. The higher you push off the floor, the more dynamic this exercise is going to be. It will help increase your heart rate, but at the same time, it will just push your fitness, give you a little bit more on the results front in terms of tone and definition as well. So you make it the exercise that you need it to be today, whether today is just about moving or whether today is about pushing yourself. Manage your own capabilities, manage your own ability to sustain what you're doing with good form as well. Last one. Good, okay. Now we're going to go to that squat side bend over to the opposite side. So hands to the side of the head. Remember, it's going to be a deep squat and then side bend with as much flexion to the side as possible. Okay, let's give this a go. Deep squat, side bend to the side. As you're going through this side, one side will start to feel like it has a bit of a stretch, and the other side should feel like it's working. And the knee and the elbow come close together, but not because the hand is lowering down. It's because you're bending sideways to get that lateral flexion in. Good work. Just keep yourself moving as much as you can here. If your squat is getting a little bit shallower because you're getting a little bit tired, either two options. It's either stay with what you're doing because it's good and it's what you've got in the locker today, or try and push yourself a little bit more and hold that high form. One more. Good work. Okay. Let's take it down to the floor for the jacks again with the feet. So remember, press up position, shoulders underneath the elbows, and the feet go wide and narrow, but trying to keep your hips in line with your shoulders. Let's get you set up. Let's go. Feet go wide and narrow. The quicker they move, the further out they move. These are all ways that you can progress the exercises. Now that you've done it once, you know what you're doing. So hopefully you can either take a progression to push you, or you can just try and maintain that same level of standard that you did the first round, trying to avoid the fatigue, keep yourself focused and pushed. Good work, good work, good work. Keep it going. Just give me just over 10 seconds of work to go. As quick and as wide as your feet can go, still while maintaining that good form. Eyes looking down at the fingertips. Squeeze your quads and your glutes tight to help keep the hip balanced position, and relax there. Okay, 45 seconds recovery. We're going to grab a mat, grab yourself a drink, and we've got some floor exercises coming up. Hopefully you felt like your heart rates are up here. As the heart rate starts to come back down, where you get a little bit of recovery from the cardiovascular work, we're going to hit the core a little bit more. And we're going to start in a side plank position. Okay, so as we go into this position, you're going to have your elbow underneath your shoulder, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to just have your feet, from being on top of each other stacked, the top foot just comes forward slightly. And you'll see why, because this, when we pivot, it helps you. Lift yourself up to a side plank position, hand to the side of the head, and I want you to rotate forward with your hip and your shoulder both moving at the same time. Good work. Try and get the hip, the shoulder, and the whole torso to rotate in a cylinder movement. So what we're not trying to do is to twist here. It's a rotation so the hip moves as well. Last 10 seconds to go. As much range of movement as you can. Keeping your hips up high at the top. Reset the plank if you need to. And relax there. Okay, leg down onto your back. Next exercise is going to be a heel drop. This is what it looks like. One heel drops down to the floor and it comes back at 90 degrees, so your knee is directly above your hip, and then you alternate through the legs. If you want to make it a little bit harder, go for both legs at the same time. Rest your head back onto the floor. You want to keep your spine nice and neutral. So think about pushing your lower back and the upper back all the way into your floor, whether it be putting an imprint into the mat or the carpet. I want you to feel almost like every single vertebrae is pushed into the floor, just to help give you a nice, straight, neutral spine. We've got just over 20 seconds to go. If your option is to go with both legs lowering down, that would be great. But just make sure that you're maintaining that good form. The further the legs move away from your body, the harder it's going to be. And that's because we're using the legs as a lever in order to challenge your core that little bit more on this exercise. And relax there. Okay, let's turn around into a side plank onto the opposite side. So the elbow comes underneath the shoulder. From this position, you're going to hold yourself up. Now remember, feet are on top of each other. Bring the top foot forward, and that will allow you to have a little bit of rotation into your hip. Hands to the side of the head. Let's push you up, and then rotate around, and then come back to that perfect side plank position. That's great. Good. And try and rotate around. Now remember, we're going to be doing all these exercises again. So that way then, once you've learned the movement, you can really start to either challenge yourself, or just to keep the movement going for the time that we've set. 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds in between each exercise at the moment. And we're just going to try and challenge the core. So try and rotate around. The hip and the shoulder both rotate at the same time, and then bring yourself back up. Last 5 seconds of work here, so keep moving, keep strong. And relax there. Let's go onto your back again. Now on this one, we're going to do a reverse curl. Now the whole idea of a reverse curl is it's about moving your legs and the upper body stays down. So place your hands to the side of your body, bring your feet up to that 90 degrees. Now your whole goal here is to push the feet up towards the ceiling, where you reach tall and then bring yourself back down. And again, when you bring yourself back down, it's going to be so that the knees are directly above the hips. So think about pushing your upper back into the floor, maybe using your arms to apply pressure into the floor so you can get a little bit more height as you reach upwards. When you're doing this exercise, really start to think about pushing towards the ceiling. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you could add the combination in of the heel drops that we looked at earlier. So if you're with me for the last 15 seconds, push up nice and high, and then lower your heels down towards the floor, and that's an optional progression. If you don't want to, then what you can do is just bring your feet to 90 degrees, and then reach up again. So you pick the range of movement. Okay, let's get you ready for those side planks again. Elbow's going to be underneath the shoulder. You're going to set your feet on top of each other, and then the top foot just rotates around in front, so the hip and the shoulder do rotate down towards the floor at the same time. Let's hold you up into that strong side plank, and then rotate round, and then come back to the center. It's always like the second exercise, or the second round of exercises that you do, you can start to know the exercise a little bit better, so you can start to explore a bigger range of movement if you can. Or you know how hard it is, and you know that if you need to take a little breather at any time, you can do, and then join back into where everyone else is as well. Keep the hips pressed up nice and high in between. Just over 10 seconds of work to go. And relax there. Okay, let's get ready for the heel drop. So, feet up at 90 degrees, bending the knees. Knees directly above the hips. Hands down by your side, push your back into the floor, and we're going those heel drops. So we're going to start alternating the legs, and then we'll bring the feet together if you want a higher challenge. So it's just one leg, and then the opposite leg. You pick the intensity. Remember, the further you move your leg away from the rest of your body, the harder the exercise is going to be, because of that leverage that you're going to be working with. And then if you'd like to make it a little bit harder again, bring your heels down together. And again, you've got the option of keeping your knees bent at 90 degrees. Or if you want to make it a little bit harder, extend the legs and then bring them back into that 90 degrees. So you pick how hard you want to make this. Think about your head being down onto the floor, pushing your spine right down deep into the floor so there's an imprint. And then keep control all the time. When you're doing core exercises, it's much better to keep control than it is to find speed. Okay, let's get you ready for a side plank. It's almost like the speed always comes in the transitions rather than the exercise when you're doing core. Feet on top of each other, top foot comes in front. Let's push yourself up to a really strong side plank, and then add the rotation of the hip and shoulder both at the same time. Now this is the last time you're going to be doing these side planks, so try and push yourself to the hardest progression you can. Slow, controlled tempo. The bigger the range of movement, the more you rotate that shoulder down towards the hand, where the hip and the shoulders rotate at the same speed. Good. Keep the hip high, so as you come back into that center, make sure you just recheck the spine position. Push your hip up towards the ceiling slightly. Good range. Trying to find that deep range that you can work on. Last one. Okay, let's bring it down to the floor. So we've got the reverse crunch, and then we're going to be off the floor into our last round of exercises as well. So in the second round, remember the option is to push the feet up and add the heel drop in if you want to. Let's give it a go. Push up high, add the heel drop if you want to. You might find with all the screen time, all the snacks in the house, you might find yourself needing to do a little bit of extra core work at the moment. Or if you've managed to find yourself a little bit of a schedule and you're being disciplined, this is where the gains really come in. Push your hips nice and high, lower your heels down towards the floor, controlled movement all the time. Push up nice and high, see how high you can get your legs, see how much of the spine you can get to come off the floor, but you've got to have control that downwards motion as well. Last 5 seconds, let's see if we can do one more. Push up high and relax. Okay, 45 seconds recovery as we get you ready for your 30 seconds recovery as we get you ready for your third exercise. So for this one, we're going to increase your heart rate again. First exercise is going to be a pop-up sumo squat. So here's how it's going to look. Your feet are turned out wide. You're going to sink down towards into a squat position, down towards the floor, and then you're going to push yourself up and then land back down into that squat position. Okay? After this one, 15 seconds recovery, then we go into exercise 2. Let's go for this. So sumo squat, pop up into position, and then back down again. And you're trying to keep your feet moving if you can. Try and keep pushing yourself. The quicker that you move, the higher your heart rate's going to go, and that's a bit of the goal in this next exercise. It's all about the speed. If this is the section where you're going to increase your fitness, try and go for it. With just over 20 seconds to go, the progression is to bring your heels together and then drop straight back into that squat and get your feet moving very quickly on this one. If that's not for you, just go into that little jack action, just where you pop up and then back down again. So it's almost like your feet come together, either in the air or on the floor. Last one, and take a 15-second breather. Next exercise we're going to do is a breakdown. Okay, so what we're going to do on this one, nice fast feet on the floor. When I say go, you're going to touch the floor and then come back into that athletic stance. Think American footballer in a blocking position. Let's go into this position. Go. Touch the floor and come back up to me. Go. Go. Good, nice quick feet. Keep the shoulders still. If the work comes from the feet, the knees, and the hips here. Keep working. Go. Touch the floor and come back to me. Good. Go. Go. Get yourself moving as quick as you can. See if you can speed those feet up. Go. It's almost like every time I shout that magic word, it breaks the momentum that you're gathering. Go. 5 seconds to go. Go. Quicker. 3. Quicker. 2. Go on a little bit more. And relax. Okay. The last exercise in our sequence is going to be burpees, okay? Here's your option. Easy option is walk out, walk in, stand up, or you go with the jumps, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. You jump out, you jump in, and you jump up into the air. 45 seconds of burpees. That introduces all the exercises to you, and then we just have one more round of each of those last 3 exercises. Good work. This is some good, tough exercises here, so just keep yourself moving. The higher you jump, the better on this one. Ten seconds of work to go. Try and get as much height in that jump as you can. Try and push your fitness a little bit more. A little bit of recovery coming around the corner. One more. Okay, take a 15-second breather. Pop-up sumo squat coming up next. This is your homeward straight now. 3 exercises between you and the cool down. Pop-up squats, the breakdowns, and the burpees. 45 seconds of each one. Let's go, let's go. Sumo squat, pop. Okay? The whole idea is to move your feet fairly quickly on this one. So keep yourself working. Keep yourself moving. You're doing a great job. Just keep pushing yourself. The quicker you move, the better on this one. Get down low into the squat position. Push yourself off the floor. Use your arms just to create a little bit of momentum as well. It just helps with your athletic movement here. 15 seconds to go. You've got the option of jumping in the air and clapping the heels together. 10 seconds to go. Good work, good work. Last 5 seconds. Keep the last couple coming. And relax there. Shake the legs out. Okay, the breakdowns to come. Little quick movement on the spot. Touch the floor when I say. The magic word will be go. We're just going to try and push it as much as we can. 3, 2, 1, let's go. On the spot. Give me a little bit more speed if you can. Try and pick up the pace. Go, touch, and back up to me. Go, touch, and come back. Quicker steps now. See if you can get the feet off the floor as much as possible. Go, go, go. Oh, it gets tough when you start to break the momentum of that running position. Keep moving as quick as you can. 3, 2, 1, go. And come back. Just 15 seconds of work to go. It's going to feel like an eternity if you've been working hard so far. Go. Oh, 10 seconds to go. Go. Oh, I can start to feel the calves working. Start to feel my quads working. Go. Go. And relax there. Okay. One exercise between you and the cool down is burpees. It might be one of the toughest exercises, but you know it's a good one as well. Starting in 5 seconds. As much height as you can on the jumps in this one. And let's go. Jump out, jump in. Push yourself up as high as you can. Throw the arms up into the air. Get as much height as you can. Good work, good work, good work. Keep pushing. Excellent. Keep that with speed up now. With just over 20 seconds between you and that finish line, as much as you can do. Chase your fitness goals by putting in the hard work. Last 10 seconds. Okay, so we can get 2 more in. And 1 more to finish with. And relax there. Oh, good job. Get your heart rates back down just by breathing slowly. Try and get control of your breath. Just start to reach between the arms, just like we did in our warm-up, just by getting mobility back into the shoulders, allowing your heart rate to come back down. The fitter you are, the quicker your heart rate will come back down, but let it come at your own time. As long as you're breathing, it will happen. Take your arms wide and narrow, up and back down, wide and narrow again, up and back down again. Good. One more time. Good. Now let's take your legs nice and wide. Turn one foot out towards the sides. Just rest your inner elbow just onto the thigh. Reach your arm up high. Now see where that stretch needs you to go. So if you need to just widen your legs a little bit, reach through the fingertips. Drop a little bit lower if you can. Just hold that stretch. As your breathing comes back to you a little bit more. Okay, swap it over to the opposite side. Turn the feet over. Same thing again. Lean over for one side. Reach up nice and tall. And hold that position. Good work. Now as you're reaching through the fingertips, drop that hips down a little bit lower to feel that stretch a little bit further. Okay, now what we're going to do is go down to the floor. What we're going to do is some up dogs and down dogs. So drop your hips down, lift your chin and chest up high. From here, we push the hips back up. Get into a downward facing dog. Let's go through that position again. So into your up dog, drop the hips, lift your chin and chest, and then push through your hands as you move your hips back and get into that downward facing dog as well. Just walk your heels a little bit just to stretch through the calves. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to bring your right foot up towards your right hand and reach your arm up high. Push the back heel away from the rest of your body and see if you can reach up through the fingertips, holding that stretch. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to swap over to the opposite side. Little downward dog in the middle, opposite foot comes up. You take the same hand up into the air to the same leg that's just gone forwards. Let's swap it over one more time. Down to that downward facing dog, opposite arm and leg, hold that deep stretch, reaching through the fingertips, then swap it over. Last time. Push the back heel away. Reach your fingertips up high. Good. Slowly bring yourself out of that position. Now what I want you to do is to bring yourself into a standing position. Hold on to something if you feel like you need to. We're going to go into a quad stretch. So standing up nice and tall, bring one foot into the palm of your hand. Think about pushing the foot into the hand. And that way then you start to feel the stretch for the quads a little bit more. Good. Let's give that a little shake and swap it over. Push the foot into the palm of the hand. Just trying to stretch that quad out a little bit more. It's done lots of work. I hope you've enjoyed the workout with us today. We'll be back again on Thursday, 7:45 in the morning, 12 o'clock noon, and then 5 o'clock in the evening. So if you want to join us again, that would be great. If not, these videos will be available back on playbacks and posts. So that way then, if you do want to follow us, you are more than welcome to. Have a great evening, everybody, and hope you see you again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.